Few places compare to that of a railroad town, and North Carolina beholds a classic one of its own. Welcome to Selma, North Carolina. Located 32 miles to the southeast of Raleigh, Selma is a major railroad junction point for two Class I main lines and can see upwards to 20 to 30 train movements daily. Rail Tennessee paid a visit to the railroad town back in April of 2023, capturing trains at iconic locations such as the Selma Interlocking Diamond, Michener Station, Bailey Mills, Selma Union Station, and more. It's a bucket list location for any rail fan to visit, and Rail Tennessee brings you up close and personal to the busy railroad setting in Selma. Experience Selma like never before in this Rail Tennessee production, Railroad Towns, Selma, North Carolina. The vibrant hues of spring begin to unfurl in Selma as the voices of songbirds serenade through the crisp morning air. The peace and serenity wouldn't last for long, being soon replaced with the resounding symphony of steel wheels atop rails. CSX 724 South leads daily manifest M401 through the Selma Interlocking, pounding the diamond head-on at 40 miles per hour. The Waycross-bound merchandise freight sees a various assortment of railcar commodities, with the most notable being these orange trash cars. Situated onto 89-foot flat cars, these containers originate up in New Jersey and are filled to the brim with excess garbage, being hauled out and exported to landfills further south. Born as a railroad town, Selma was first established in the year 1867, when the North Carolina Railroad sold land lots around its newly established depot, Michener Station. Later in the year 1886, the town would significantly grow in size when the Wilmington and Weldon built a branch line through town, intersecting with the North Carolina Railroad in the center of Selma. Over the course of time, the railroad continued to play a vital role for Selma, facilitating growth and prosperity for the small community. Fast forward to 2023, and Selma is still served by the railroad, with Norfolk Southern and CSX utilizing tracks through town. CSX Transportation maintains tracks of the former W&W as part of the north to south A-line corridor, while Norfolk Southern continues to lease trackage rights from the North Carolina Railroad. Selma is incredibly proud of its railroad heritage, boasting a steam locomotive as its city herald, which can be seen on display all throughout town. North of downtown Selma, an abandoned flour mill can still be seen standing off to the side near CSX's A-line. Having once been served by the railroad, the fate of these rails looks to be grim as they continue to rust away to the elements. CSX M582 moves south on the A-line, beginning their long journey towards Radnor Yard in Nashville, Tennessee. Back near the station, CSX 309 leads northbound Manifest M400 through town, passing an original ACL mile marker seen to the left of the tracks. As railroad competition grew during the mid-1880s, the Wilmington and Weldon Railroad sought to create a shorter, more direct route along the East Coast. Subsequently, the W&W developed the Fayetteville Cutoff, a new line running via Wilson, North Carolina to Fayetteville. This new route significantly cut down on the extra miles used by the railroad, bypassing Wilmington to the west. The cutoff, along with the W&W, would later fall into the fold of the Atlantic Coastline Railroad in 1899, as part of a series of mergers conducted by the company. Today, the former ACL corridor remains to be a busy and vital artery on the CSX system, providing quick access from the north into the south. Having first opened in 1924, Selma's historic Union Station sits directly at the junction point of the CSX A line and Norfolk Southern's NC line. When passenger service declined in the 1960s, the station was shuttered and teetered on the brink of destruction. Due to the efforts of local citizens, the station was saved from demolition in 1975, and 27 years later was fully restored in November of 2002. During regular business hours, guests can visit inside the station to learn more about Selma's rich history with the railroads. Today, the station continues to connect Selma via Amtrak, serving as a daily stop for multiple Amtrak trains, including North Carolina's very own Carolinian. Amtrak's northbound Silver Star swings around the connection track in town, sprinting north to its next station stop of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. On the east side of town, Norfolk Southern's P98 job works to build their train inside the yard. Leased to Norfolk Southern by the state of North Carolina, the North Carolina Railroad began its humble operations in the year 1849, creating an east-to-west railroad that connected the coastal plain region with the Piedmont. Norfolk Southern continues to operate the 317-mile rail corridor, honoring their long-standing partnership with the state of North Carolina, locking into a multi-year lease agreement that spans well into the 21st century. P98 features a decent lash-up of motive power, with EMD SD70 ACE number 1162 leading and GE-9 number 9737 in the second slot, still retaining its as-delivered thoroughbred paint scheme. Imposing rain clouds loomed off in the distance, quickly closing in on Selma. Rain or shine, the railroad keeps on moving, as the crew continued to spot cars within the yard. As raindrops began to fall, it was the perfect opportunity to take a quick and dry lunch break, before returning back to the rails later on in the afternoon. April showers bring May flowers, as the rain continued to fall around Selma. CSXM 409 was next up for the A-line, sprinting through the downpour with merchandise freight bound for Waycross, Georgia. A few moments later, and the rain had finally let off, just in time as NS 4273 leads Manifest Freight 350 east into town. Once 350 crosses over the diamond, the train will enter Selma Yard, where it will terminate and be handed over to the Selma crew to sort into blocks in the yard. Selma's original depot, Michener Station, can still be seen standing on the opposite side of the tracks, and is believed to be the oldest remaining railroad station in North Carolina. At the east end of the yard, the crew of NS 350 swaps with the Selma yard crew, effectively becoming local job P98, ready to take the train further east to New Bern. Unfortunately, more thunderstorms would creep into view for the afternoon, effectively ending our day early in Selma. The start of a new day dawns over Selma, as the morning sun brightly illuminates over the town. CSX Local L228 can be seen working Bailey Mills, with a GP35 slug set for power. Beginning in 1988, CSX performed an overhaul transformation on their older EMD GP30s and GP35s, removing their prime mover components and replacing them with ballast for added tractive effort. CSX reclassified these units as RDMT, short for RoadMate slugs, with each slug being paired to a GP40-2 mother locomotive. Approaching from the south was northbound Manifest M652, with a short train bound for Rocky Mount, North Carolina. As the rear DP motor screams past the slug set, L228 reassembles their train before receiving the all-clear to proceed south on Track 1, taking their shortcut of cars back to Milan Yard in Fayetteville. A former RF&P caboose proudly stands on display near Selma Station, as Amtrak's northbound Silver Star rumbles around the connection track onto the A-line. Following close behind Amtrak was NS 350, with a clear signal to proceed across the diamond for Selma Yard. Selma was about to get real busy. In wake of the East Palestine disaster in March of 2023, Norfolk Southern implemented a new DPU rule, which at the time of this recording was in the early stages of implementation. The rule required all merchandise freights to operate with distributed power if their train was over 10,000 feet in length or 14,000 tons in weight. The goal was to minimize train incidents, starting with how each train is built in the yard. It's safe to say this train was well over 10,000 feet, as NS 4554 assists the manifest as a mid-train DPU. Moments after 350 cleared the diamond, CSX L607 appears, quickly heading north through Selma. Running on approach signals, CSX M400 slowly crawls through Selma, following the footsteps of L607 north. After the morning rush cleared up, Rail Tennessee paid a visit to Selma's finest coffee shop around town, Coffee on Raiford. This place has everything you could ever need, from piping hot coffee to ice-cold refreshments. You can even satisfy your sweet tooth with some homemade cookies, brownies, cupcakes, you name it. The shop features plenty of talented railroad pictures showcasing Selma, all taken by local photographer and friend Logan Allen. Friendly staff makes this a great place to sit back and chill while visiting Selma. This place is Railfan approved. Back to the action, CSX 854 South leads a mixed merchandise train through Selma on the A-line. Amtrak's southbound Palmetto service can be seen making its mid-afternoon station stop in Selma. Passengers on today's train will enjoy a smooth 6-hour train ride to the Peach State, with the final destination being Savannah, Georgia. A solo GE P42DC does today's honors, as the train slowly pulls away from the platform. Railroad traffic tends to be slower around Selma in the afternoon, as a pair of CSX light engines roll south by the station on Track 1. The two engines are bound for Bailey Mills, and will pick up a loaded unit train waiting for them in the siding. Following soon behind, Amtrak's southbound Carolinian approaches Selma for its station stop, carrying passengers from the Big Apple to the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. Considered to be a heritage unit, Amtrak 46 wears a commemorative 50th anniversary decal on the side of the locomotive, While it's slightly humorous to think this is considered to be a heritage unit, it won't be very long before both the Phase 5 paint scheme and the P-42DC become a piece of history. It's a quick stop in Selma, as the crew throttles up the GE, ready to make the quick sprint over to the capital city of Raleigh. At Bailey Mills, the crew of G981 readies their loaded train for departure. Take a close listen to the radio communication held with the crew.
I'm in the yard. I gotta find out which way I need to leave out. Go back out the way. I thought we were gonna need you at the bottom of the plant, but go back out where you come and go towards where you dropped us off, and then go down into Selma and take a left on 301. And there'll be a gas station, I think it's a Marathon right there at Riggs Road. Make a left. Where Selma is that? Say what? How far into Selma is that? As soon as you get to downtown Selma, you'll see the sign that says 301 Highway. You make a left, and you'll go down at the Marathon gas station. You make another left, and we're right here. So it's like what? 5 minutes, 10 minutes? Yeah, once you go back out the way you came and go past where you dropped the first, initially dropped us off to get out at, you'll keep straight, and 301 will be up there just past, right down in downtown. So cross over the tracks where I dropped you guys off at. That's right. You'll go that'll take you right into downtown, and 301 Highway will be right in downtown. You make that left, and you go down at the Marathon gas station on your left. When you take that left, the tracks will be right there. All right.
After talking with their Halcon van crew, the conductor walks the full length of the train, making the final checks necessary before going on the pole. It's a hot day in Selma, as the engineer drops down a cold water bottle down from the cab to the conductor. Given the all clear, the engineer slowly brings the train out of the siding and onto the main. Lead locomotive 569 gives off quite a performance, spewing plumes of white smoke from its exhaust stack.
Let me know when the rear clears the switch. All right.
Take a listen to the conductor as the last car clears over the switch.
I'm missing 16 cars. Oh boy. Yeah, that was everything in the track. And your rear fastener switch right now. Was that everything back there? Yeah, that was everything that was in that track and everything that I could see that was there. There won't no other grain cars in any other track? There was other grain cars, but they were different kinds. Were they loaded, or did you say if they were loaded or empty? I didn't check because they were different cars, so I didn't even think they went with that because all those cars are the same. And Brian told me they were all in one track, swung out to the derail. He told you they were all in one track? Yeah, he said they were all in one track, swung out to the derail. Okay, all right. So we got them all on the main now? Yeah, you're all on the main and you're past the crossing. All right, I'll meet you north of this.
A beautiful golden sunset illuminates the town of Selma, as a gorgeous spring day slowly comes to a close in North Carolina. The splendid scene is interrupted by the clamoring of steel wheels, as CSX E926 rushes north through Selma with a train of empty coal bins in tow. The final rays of sunshine reach the top of the cantilever signal, as a Cincinnati-bound manifest freight races the setting sun through the Selma interlocking. In a special encore performance, Rail Tennessee would return to Selma a few days later, after receiving word that CSX 3194 was leading M652 out of Rocky Mount. The lighting conditions couldn't have been any better, as 3194 thunders across the diamond through town. Nothing quite compares to that of a railroad town, and we hope you enjoyed this special production covering the charming town of Selma, North Carolina. What railroad town should we cover next? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.